Today, we're tackling something that sounds, well, a bit weird. What in the world connects your dog barking its head off with a nail-biting penalty kick at Anfield? Believe it or not, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it tells us a ton about how we all learn.
Okay, let's start with a scene we all know, maybe a little too well. The postman shows up, and suddenly your perfectly sweet dog turns into this, furry, four-legged alarm system. It's loud, it's frustrating, and honestly, it can be a bit embarrassing. But here's the crazy part. What if I told you that the secret to understanding why your dog does this is the exact same reason thousands of football fans basically freeze in place during a super high-stakes penalty? I know, it sounds totally bizarre. Just stick with me on this one.
All right, so to really get this, we're not actually going to start with the dog. Nope, we're going to start in a living room, somewhere in Liverpool, with the match on the telly.
And be honest with yourself for a second. Think about a time when everything was on the line for your team. Have you ever done something, well, a little bit superstitious?
Picture it. The tension is just, you can cut it with a knife. You find yourself sitting in the exact same spot on the couch you were in for the last goal. You've got the lucky scarf on. You're giving the death stare to anyone in the room who even thinks about moving. Nobody moves. Nobody speaks. Nobody even breathes, right?
And then, bam! Goal! The net ripples, they scored, the whole room just explodes. The ritual, it worked.
Okay, but let's take a step back for a second. Let's be logical. Deep down, do any of us really think that where we were sitting on our sofa had any actual physical impact on that player, maybe hundreds of miles away?
Of course not. I mean, that would be completely crazy. But, and this is the important part, are we going to do the exact same thing the next time there's a penalty? Oh, you bet we are. Absolutely. Because look, the pattern felt like it was connected to winning, and hey, we're not about to mess with that.
So, this whole superstitious fan thing. What on earth does it have to do with your dog and the postman? Well, as it turns out, pretty much everything.
Let's just try to see this from your dog's perspective for a minute. And it's way, way simpler than our complicated human brains. It's a three-step process. 1, a stranger walks up to my house. That feels a little threatening. 2, I make a whole lot of noise. I bark. And 3, the stranger leaves. Simple as that. And that simple sequence, that's the whole key. Your dog has just learned something incredibly powerful, even if it's based on a total coincidence. This is where a really cool psychological principle called accidental reinforcement comes into play. So in your dog's mind, what just happened? It's pretty straightforward. It's like, well, that worked. A threat showed up, I barked my head off, and the threat went away. I did it! I saved the house!
And that's accidental reinforcement in a nutshell. The dog's behavior, the barking, was rewarded by the postman leaving. Now, we know the postman was going to leave anyway, that's his job. But for the dog, the timing was just perfect. So now, in its brain, the action, barking, and the outcome, stranger leaves, are totally linked.
Okay, so here's the really important part. It's all about understanding the difference between how we process a coincidence like this and how a dog does. And it has nothing to do with being smart or dumb. It's just about complexity. Look at us humans. We create these huge stories around things. Lucky scarves, lucky seats, you name it. We love to overthink. Dogs, they don't do that. They don't add stories. They're what you might call honest learners. They just notice a pattern. When I bark, the scary male person leaves. It's a clean, simple connection for them.
And this, honestly, might be the most important thing to get. Your dog isn't being stubborn, they're not being naughty or trying to annoy you on purpose. They are just repeating a strategy that, from their point of view, has worked brilliantly in the past. There's no attitude here. It's just simple, honest learning. So, if it's just a learned pattern, you know what the good news is? It can be unlearned. And the goal here isn't just to stop the barking. It's about teaching your dog a new, better pattern for dealing with the postman.
So what can you actually do at home? Well, here are a few really effective things. First, reward the call. The second your dog sees the postman and stays quiet, even for a split second, reward that choice. If the barking has already kicked off, don't start shouting. That just adds more energy to the situation. Instead, calmly move your dog away from the window. Just create some distance. You can also manage the environment. Put up some of that frosted window film or use a baby gate to stop them from practicing the barking all the time. And this is a big one. Avoid punishing them. You can't punish fear away. It usually just makes it worse. And with all of this, the secret ingredient is just being consistent. This isn't an overnight fix.
So, let's just recap the big takeaway here. Your dog is not being difficult.
What they're doing makes perfect sense to them. It's all based on their past experiences. And the best part? It can absolutely change with the right kind of support from you.
Because really, at the end of the day, both the dog and the die-hard football fan are doing the exact same thing, repeating a behavior that was once, by sheer coincidence, followed by a great outcome. So, if you've ever frozen solid during a Liverpool penalty, you already get how learning works. You understand your dog's brain perfectly, you just add a whole lot more drama to it.